This week, candidates for the 2018 election filed with the Secretary of State. When it comes to voters, here's a look at the latest numbers from the Secretary of State's office. As of March 2018, there are more than 3,610,000 registered voters in Arizona. By party, that breaks down to 1.2 million Republicans, 1.2 million voters registered as independents, nearly 1.1 million Democrats, 31,000 Libertarians, and nearly 6,800 Green Party voters. Here in Pima County, party leaders are working to motivate their bases in time for the August primary. For a look at those efforts, Arizona 360 invited Joe Holt from the Pima County Democratic Party and David Eppihimer from the Pima County Republican Party to our studio for an analysis on what we can expect over the next few months. Let's begin with midterms are coming up. They can be a sleepy season, so to speak, but Joe, you say it's going to be an exciting time.
Oh, it's already been exciting, and it's going to be a really exciting primary on the Democratic Party side. And no, not the sleepy midterms this year.
Same thing for us. We have just crowded primaries in many of the races. So the primary season is going to be very active and very hard fought. And then the general is not going to be sleepy at all. You know, I think both parties see it as a very hard fought midterm.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's also a lot of money coming in from outside the state as well. I mean, it's not here yet, but it will be.
It will be.
It will be. It's coming.
What do you suppose is really driving the interest? I mean, we will have an open Senate seat. There are some other races that people will be watching.
Perhaps people think that Arizona is in transition politically. Of course, here in Pima County, we are fairly blue, and we plan to stay that way. I'm sorry.
We plan to change that.
Wonderful. So, but I think that it's the presidency that's driving everything right now. The fear, the repulsion.
I have to weigh in on that.
Okay.
I do think the presidency is driving everything, but fear and repulsion are two words that I would object to. On the Republican side, we are motivated, we're energized, and we're excited about what President Trump is doing, delivering on campaign promises. The mood, what's driving Republicans in this primary is the excitement and the obvious, to us, opportunity we have to make some great gains, either nationally and certainly here in Pima County.
We've had some high-profile Republicans who have said that I'm not so comfortable with the current Republican Party. Is it facing a transition right now?
Oh, I think that the president has brought a change to the party, of course. There are certain Republicans that are uncomfortable with our current president. They're uncomfortable with his method of operation, which we as a party in Pima County are very comfortable with. We see exactly the things that he's doing, and we support them all.
Joe, is this a prime opportunity then for Democrats to capture those voters?
I think it is. You know, on the Democratic side in Pima County, you have people that talk routinely about the loss of democracy, essentially the loss of the voice of the people, the loss of the idea that we all have rights that should not be based on ability to pay, the right to education, health care, those types of things. And a great disturbance, and this is why I use the term repulsion, because it is a fairly strong term, but a great disappointment in the way that the office of the presidency of the United States is being conducted.
We see this tactic that Joe's outlining of running against the president, no matter what the office, as just a political tactic. The president is a very strong individual. He has very strong feelings, and Joe uses the word not democratic or some sort of attack on our democracy. The United States is not a democracy, it's a republic. And all of the politicians, certainly Democrats side, like to talk about democracy. Democracy is direct vote of the people into all offices across the board. We're a republic, and states have rights. You vote for representatives in a representative government.
Okay, this is tough, it's complex, and some might say politics is just turning ugly. Are we weeding out candidates people who could be very strong candidates but are not interested in the games that are played, the social media that's involved, just the media attention? I mean, are we losing potentially really strong people?
You know, actually, Lorraine, it's interesting because I've heard that as well, but that's really not what we've been seeing. You know, and I keep thinking about, you know, as David is describing his point of view, you know, I keep thinking about what I've actually been seeing. And what I've been seeing is a tsunami of volunteers, of people who have called us, knocked at our door, and say, I haven't been active for years and years. I have to do something. I think that maybe some people are turned off by the push and pull of politics, and sometimes I am too, quite frankly.
Well, I think that from the Republican side, we're seeing the same thing. Now, there are always people that you wish they'd run. You know, I wish that so-and-so that would step up and run. Joe describes one phenomenon from the Democrat point of view. We see the other side, where conservatives are knocking on the door and saying they've had enough. They've had enough of the far left movement of the Democrat Party. They've had enough of the progressivism that they see in the Democrat Party these days, and they want to step up and help stop it.
We are seeing a growing number of independents, or people saying, I'm an independent now, I don't really side with either party. Why do you suppose that is?
I think that when people don't register with either the Republican Party or the Democratic Party or the Green Party, it's like an ostrich putting its head in the sand. I'm sorry, because in the end, it's going to be a Democrat or it's going to be a Republican who's running the show, essentially.
Okay, David.
And I agree with that. And I think the independents and the PNDs, the party not declared, those two groups are numerous in the state and in the county. And I think they're making a statement, just like Joe said, they're making a statement of independence. I don't think it's so much sticking their head in the sand. I think that they're making a personal statement of, I'm independent, I make up my own mind. I don't follow any doctrine. And a great number of them vote Republican every time the ballot comes in. They vote Democrat every time the ballot comes in, but they don't want that label. And so our races very often are fought over those votes.